This episode of The Cliffhanger was brought to you by Smile and Live Lounge. Today on The Cliffhanger, we're gonna be talking to... So, he isn't one of the lockdown housemates, but he had a lot to say about the show and the housemates. So I mean...
Leg out.
Take it back to the start. Today on The Cliffhanger, we're gonna be talking to a blogger.
I sort of work for an online media, a blog.
Oh, jokes. He's a Nigerian blogger, a writer, a CEO. Okay. He's also an entrepreneur and a CEO. Can you stop? He's also a music consultant, CEO of the 360 Group, and a fashion blogger amidst all the hot takes he's always serving.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you. Fuck off out of here. Get out! Out! And one more thing. Get out!
This guest star describes himself, simply put, as very Igbo and proud, with a sprinkle of arrogance, depending on the day of the week. When asked what he would change about himself, he had this to say.
I don't want to change anything. I'm NOBLE IGWE. I mean, deal with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking to none other than NOBLE IGWE. Hi NOBLE.
Hey,
Welcome to The Cliffhanger.
thank you.
So it's been a minute. The last time I saw you was when I got out of the house.
No, the Chamanda thing. What together.
Oh yeah! Oh wow, time flies. Oh, so much has happened.
I know.
Jesus.
When you're making money, you don't remember your friends. So that's how it works.
People like that. They're speaking for themselves.
I knew you before you became a superstar. I knew you were in the world of advertising. So don't forget that.
I'm still in the world of advertising.
Well,
That's my hustle.
Superstar advertiser, so it's two different.
Inject it. Okay, good. So we're here to talk to you because everybody knows who NOBLE is. Entrepreneur. You're also in sort of in the advertising space.
Yeah.
And recently, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, you're very vocal with the whole Big Brother Nigeria.
Vocal about everything, not just Big Brother
Okay,
Nigeria.
yes.
So maybe Big Brother Nigeria is one of the things a lot of people follow. So one of it sort of feels like I sort of talk about.
Exactly. So we're here to talk about that, your involvement in the whole BB thing, you know, and we want to understand things from your perspective,
Okay.
you know. So, like, you like the show, right?
Yeah.
You like the show. You watch the show a lot. How do you pick your faves?
I pick people most times that I didn't know before they got into the house. So, and sometimes I pick people out of, I wouldn't want to use the word pity, but it sort of feels like I pick people who I think the whole world seems to be against.
Yeah.
So, and it feels like, so on Nigerian Twitter or most social media, people look for people who people talk about a lot more, people abuse a lot more, and they pick on them every day. So I like to pick such people so I can be the voice that they need. So, like, you know, so say for instance, a lot of people said fraud washed Esther's underwear, and a lot of people were coming after him. So I knew that he needed someone to
Back him up.
back him up. You know, also wore his hat on his sleeves, and I knew that it was going to be an easy target. But at the same time, I also look at people and I see the different side of everyone is flawed, right? So we have a positive, we have a negative, and sometimes we pay a lot of attention to people's negative sides that we don't look at their positive sides. So sometimes my faves come to me just because they're flawed normally and they don't seem to be playing the script.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because last year, I noticed the pattern. You know.
Okay, so tell me about this pattern.
So I mean, it was fraud last year.
Yeah.
Everybody was coming for fraud.
Yes.
Even before I got into the house,
Yes.
people were coming for
Yeah.
fraud.
Yeah.
And this year it was Ozo.
Yes.
Because Ozo, the whole Ozo Nengi dynamics.
Exactly.
You know.
The year before was Teddy and Bam Bam. Because people sort of said they had sex in the toilet, so people picked up on them. So I had to like say, these are the people I want to support.
Okay. I mean, it's a noble, no pun intended.
Yeah.
It's a noble
Thing.
thing it's a noble thing to do. Okay, good. Because I mean, when I was in the house, you kind of came for me.
No, I didn't come for you directly. I sort of feel like I knew you before the house.
Yeah.
And I sort of expected a lot from you, not in terms of what's the word again? I didn't want to be any other person but you. So look at us on the set. Like when you called me for Cliffhanger, I just said to you, send me the details.
Yes.
I didn't need you to speak English to me. I didn't need you to explain to me what your show is about.
Yeah.
Because I support you, and everything that make you become bigger, I'll be there for you. So when you were in the house, I expected to see that Elozonam and not you trying to gauge if the camera is on you or not. So the creative side comes up, but at some point you push it down just because you are also being mindful of the camera. So I expected a lot more from you. That didn't mean that I was disappointed in you, but it just felt like, I also felt like because you're also popular, a lot of people are going to be on your side. I wasn't going to add to that, like, bandwagon. I like to be the guy on the other side of the divide.
Bandwagon? Because I've never been a bandwagon guy.
No, that's not you.
Like,
but the public who know you, the public who knew you, the public who knew Benita before their house, will always sort of feel some type of way. And I sort of feel like you guys had an advantage to play the game a lot better than the people who were in the house before you got in.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
I love you, just so that one is out of the way.
Okay, so is it possible I'm asking you this question now from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to stand your fave without dragging another person in the mud?
No, I didn't drag anybody this year.
I'm not even saying about
like,
you now.
Generally, yes, it is possible. But the thing is, like, there's also a thin line where sometimes we don't know. So you don't know who to hold. So you sort of hold the housemate that people support. So if I come to you and I keep saying, get out to you on your timeline, when you're supporting, for instance, let's say Esther, and you keep supporting Esther, and if every time I come to you and I say, get out to you, and if you say something about Esther, like that rubbish, your defense most times probably wouldn't be to me. It will be against the housemate that you think that I support.
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't know when we cross the line. So I don't think the show itself is toxic. I think the people are.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that sometimes people don't know when they cross the line. So, and every year you make a decision not to do things that you have looked at and find out how you are wrong. So I have in the past supported people, and at some point I probably told the tribe back line where I probably say support this person because this person is evil. And this year I decided I wasn't going to do any of that. So I didn't mention when I was supporting Ozo, I never mentioned about him being evil. I never sold him to evil people as one of our own. So I decided to sell him as his person. So every year you do something, then you go back, you look at your records and you want to change something and make them different. So yeah, so that's what I did this year. But I think it's possible to stand without being abusive. I think it's possible to stand without dragging someone through the mud. I agree totally.
Okay, so when you stand, when you pick your faves,
Yes.
naturally, you also like the people that like him and support him in the house, or is that different for you?
It's a bit different for me. I don't pick. So when I pick faves, I don't go the bandwagon. I don't join WhatsApp groups. I don't use the emoticons.
Yeah.
So I do it as a NOBLE IGWE thing. It's sort of like a group thing. So I don't do well in those WhatsApp groups because I don't want anybody to give me a hashtag to use. I don't want to use anybody's hashtag.
Yeah.
So I just want to defend them from where I sit. So but it's also easy for you to also like people who support them in the house.
Yes.
It's not basically people who are cheering them on, but people who say, I like when people, if you say get out to me in my presence, I respect that you say that behind my back. So when I see people who are like that, which is one reason why I like Lucy. Lucy wouldn't say anything behind you that she wouldn't say in front of you, and that to me, I'm big on that. And she wouldn't try to form friendship with you just because she wants to be friends with you outside of the game.
Yeah.
So I respect that a lot. And so I like when people sell themselves for who they are, not trying to make it what is not just because. Yeah.
Okay, so your faves, everybody who watched the show last season knew that Fraud was your absolute fave, was
Yes.
the paramount. Did you have any other faves last year?
So I liked Fraud. I liked Mike. I liked you.
But the people that are going to watch this are going to have a hard time believing me.
Yeah, I know. I liked you. I didn't hate anyone. It was just I wasn't a big fan of anyone. So I sort of spoke less about the people. And some people think, Messi thinks that I don't like her, but it's neither here or there.
Why did you at any point drag her?
No, but it wasn't drag. It wasn't even during the show. So you sort of feel like there's a couple of comments I made that they were directed at her.
Okay.
And they were in at her. Let me give you an example. So when the AMVC happened, and they chose the best dress at AMVC, so I tweeted that I think it would be nice if AMVC is going to choose the best dress to limit it to actors, because it's an award about
Actors.
Actors. Do you understand? So that way they would dress up for it and not come for their award and not be able to get the fashion aspect of their award. And also think that if they focus so much on the fashion, they will actually lose out on the male creative, because sometimes people who are creative do not have a lot of time for fashion. So they rather stay away from the awards than to come for an award to trying to drag if they're best dressed or what dress. So that was actually like, so she thought it was because she won it.
I can understand the reason. I can understand that. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the toxicity of the show. You know that it's really, really toxic, right?
Could be.
It could be, but sometimes it is. Like a lot of the time, what do you think about? Because I know that human beings will be human beings.
Yeah.
And if it's a place where it's basically your thoughts that make the platform, right?
Yeah.
So shed some light on what you think about the toxicity of the show.
So the thing is, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but the thing is, like, watching the show, you watch the show with every kind of people who switch off their data, people who charge 200 naira data, like, so
yes.
You always have to, like, watch the TV show with those kind of people. So for you have a lot to lose. For them, they don't have a lot to lose. Sometimes people even open a burner account to insult you for something that you did 16 years ago that they didn't like. So that way they all, like, put everything under the umbrella of the show. But the thing is that the show is not the problem. The problem is from the people who are watching the show. Let me give an example, right? So when I walked in here, I saw Prince. I didn't expect him to say hello to me, and that's totally okay. Do you understand? But I didn't have anything against Prince in the house. But I sort of feel like his fans felt like I was supporting Ozo and that I didn't like Prince. But it wasn't the case. So every time I was dragged on Prince because of Prince. So I ended up dragging him on the show. So I would expect him to come out and they will say to him that I dragged him, which is okay. So maybe we don't talk this year, maybe we'll talk like 16 years time, and I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, so I want now. Okay, so hold that thought. Yeah. So you just said now that people thought you didn't like Prince and they dragged you because of Prince, and then you dragged him.
Yes.
So why did you drag him instead of dragging the people that were dragging
because
you?
People who are dragging you drag you based on your faith. So let me give an example. So someone tweeted yesterday, a Princess fan, not yesterday, maybe a few days ago, even after the show was over, to say, I stand a king, not a king that will not follow money and follow woman's bottom throughout the show. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
If I'm going to drag that person, I'm not going to drag her because of her weave is weak. I'm going to drag her on the same subject that she dragged. So it's going to be my fave against her
Against your
fave.
fave.
Exactly. So I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you didn't eat breakfast this morning. That's none of my business. If you talk about that, then if you talk about me as a person, but if you drag somebody who I support in such a way that I don't think is objective. If it's objective, I don't have any reason to be fighting with you. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't have any problem with fighting you. But like, I'm giving you an example for Ozo. If you cannot say that Ozo was in the house, he won a lot of money, he won a car. Every single person who's going to live on Sunday, there's only one winner. Every other person is going to be top whatever, and nobody's going to serve you food in a restaurant because you're top 5 of BBM. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm being very honest. Do you know what I'm saying? So this guy has gone into the house, he's won all these things, he come out, but the only thing I can remember is because of the relationship with Nengi. That's disrespectful. So I want for people to be able to say that he did this, but maybe you didn't like this aspect of what he did, but you have to recognize what he has done. That is what I would do. So I might say things about Prince, but I also did say that he handled the salon very well. He made sure that the ladies and the men were looking great every other weekend. Do you know what I'm saying? When he did his drama, he did very well. So for every song in time, I never dragged anybody on their negative side or their flaws. I make sure that I try as much as possible to balance it. But the fans will always see the ones that that kind of thing. I took pictures. Every other fan base that used the picture this season got the picture from me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if you're taking pictures from me, why are you trying to come to me to say I don't support it? If I don't like it, I won't take their picture. I stopped taking Prince's picture sometime in the show, when he felt like his fans were coming for me, and I said I wasn't going to talk about him anymore. And I stopped.
So for our Cliffhanger Artistry today, we have Flow with CHEQUE performed alongside the D.E.D Band. Enjoy.
Yeah. Hold up, cut that that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah, hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah, it's no chill and I mean that. Busy trying to find where this cheese at. Elsewhere here say bees in the trap, no they vex if you call I don't hit back. If they cut the lights we go on gen. What I know they rush we go fetch. Yeah, road they close we go turn then return then divert to the route where we know say go make sense. I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, go let salary, make it show for my body. I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, go let salary, make it show for my body. Wait, hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah, hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah, I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, go the salary, make it show for my body. Yeah, wake up, grind, girl I make hay while the sun gon' shine. Even nighttime I go get mine every time. Can't you tell I'm the next in the line? Address me your highness, I can't stay behind desks. Wanna handle this bread while I dine, yes. This year, be like say now this year. Go and tell them I said that they must be to sign checks. I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, go the salary, make it show for my body. Yeah, yeah. I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, go the salary, make it show for my body. Hey, hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Hey, hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, call it salary, make it show for my body. Hey, I want to make back, I don't want to jalopy. Show me the paper, oh who don't tire me. I want pop proper, call it salary, make it show for my body. Hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah, hold up, cut that check. No more down for I won't buy pens. See me see wahala, monkey don't jump fence. Show me the alert, money stop nonsense. Yeah.
Whatever, wherever. Just smile.
Fantastic performance. You can check out Flow's tracks on all streaming platforms. So, do you agree that like a lot of comments or like statements that people make, fans make on the show, or generally people make, can be misconstrued to mean something, whereas, because I mean I know that a lot of people are guilty of misconstruing a lot of statements.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, it's possible. It's possible.
Have you been guilty of such misconstruction?
I mean, I can't. If somebody points something out to me, I might not like say. I might look at it and say, in hindsight, maybe I could have done this, right? But like I was mentioning about not campaigning on the tribal lines, and maybe not choosing my favorite based on their ego or anything, but also looking at people as individual and supporting them from that aspect of it, like trying to say, oh, I haven't supported anybody from Anambra State, maybe fraud, but it wasn't because he was from Anambra State, and I didn't know. I haven't supported anyone that I knew, like before the show proper. Never. I have never been moved to like support anyone. Maybe tomorrow, but today I haven't.
Okay. Okay, so like besides you liking the show as a show, yeah, what else motivates you to go? Because it takes a different level of like investment to say, okay, I'm going to support this person. I'm going to go all the way in for this person.
Yeah.
BBN is time and effort. It's time and energy.
Yeah.
Like, so what motivates you to go this extra mile for these individuals?
Because sometimes, right, you don't need anybody to, like, you know, I keep telling people, like, if I'm paid to do some of the things I did for BBM, I don't know if I would do it as much as I want to, but because I do it out of passion, and because I want to look back, I don't want to take the praise. Let me give an example, right? So a lot of people say to me that they want to see a picture of myself and Ozo. There's no picture of me and Ozo. I haven't taken one single picture of him. I don't even have his phone number. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have his mother's phone number, I have his father's phone number, I have his cousin's phone number, I have his manager's phone number, I have everybody's phone number apart from him. I don't need him to be my friend for me to help him be successful. I just want to do, like, I want to say that I know the industry. And I know that the fame that you have, if you don't plan how to stretch it, you can burn out and nobody's going to call you for anything. Yeah. So because of my idea or because of my knowledge of that, I try to help people who I like to say, listen, you can be a star and take a lot of pictures, but you won't be able to make money after 2 years. But you can be a star and make money from 2 years onwards until maybe you change your career. So I'm more interested in that. I'm more interested in pointing the direction of what you can do. And because I've also sort of been around for a little while, that I have access to people that people want to see. So if you want to see, for instance, the governor, I might not have access to the governor, but I know that if there's a phone call away, I know who to call to get you a meeting with that. So I try to use that to help people set themselves up. And not because I don't want any commission percentage. I'm not interested. But sometimes when I do something good, right, with someone, I get calls by people who don't necessarily interested in BBM. Does that make sense to you? So it's companies that say, we have this product we want to sell. We want you to give us an idea of what you do. So presently, I'm working with 2 banks. A lot of people don't know the banks. They don't know that I'm working with the banks. But the thing is, I'm working behind the scenes because it gives me an opportunity to be able to do the things that I do.
So basically, you have an innate knowledge in more or less marketing. Yeah. Yes. So you as a result of the fact that you're passionate about the show, you use those skills you have to help the person that you want to support. Yes. And so you always pick, in quote unquote, the underdog of the show.
So because that helps me with acknowledging the fact that I've done something that is great. Okay. So if the person is set for stardom, I wouldn't probably be interested. But if I walk into a room and somebody says, "Oh, I didn't like this guy. I hear you speak about him, and because of you, I want to do something with him," that makes me happy. If someone says to you, "Oh, like this your guy, I'm impressed with what he's been doing," that makes me happy. So I would likely go for the people who almost everybody wouldn't go for. Like, there's no way, with no all due respect to Lekon, there's no way I would be campaigning for Lekon, because that's what every other person is doing. He's a great guy, no doubt or anything, but I wouldn't join a bandwagon. I will always go for the guys who need people on their side, and I'll also help them or want to assist them to see how they can make money with whatever fame they've gotten on the show.
That's actually very, again, this time pun intended, noble. That's actually very, because like, to be very honest, I know the amount of energy put into this whole.
Takes a lot of energy. Like,
takes a lot of energy.
Like when I leave you here, I'm going to Ozo's hotel. I've been there, so I start my day there, and I live there at night just because I want to do this for this 1 week when they're going. I just got a call from Nengi's family. They also want me to do something with her when she gets out of the house. Do you understand? But that's for that level. Yeah. The people who have individually spoken to me and who I think they can do great were Tony. So I might not be doing at the same level I do with Ozo, but I'm also listening to her to say, this is something you can do, this is what I think you can do different, this is how I think you can go. Yeah. But sometimes also people who you want to do fun things with, who don't like you because of what you tweeted about them, but they should also show you. I want to play table tennis with Praise because I know I can beat him, you know, that kind of thing. So I sent him a message, he ready to ignore it. I sent him another message, so I want to play tennis with him. I'm not trying to form friendship. I'm not going to, do you understand? I don't want to take pictures with you or anything. There's no picture of Ozo on my page. I don't need to do what I'm saying. So when some people say you do things for clout, you do this for clout, be like, I don't need to do this to get the clout. So I do things that I like, and it also makes me happy when I see that someone has succeeded. Say for instance now, as at 6 a.m. this morning, the designer sent the Ozo's clothes to my house. I checked it out, then I sent it to my driver to take it to his hotel. Then I don't know when he's won it, but when on my way here, I saw a picture that he's wearing it today. Yesterday was the something Zena sent to my house. I look at it and I sent to him, get him the hat. Like, so you're trying to make sure that someone, you look at their fashion, you also see where it plays into what you can play around with. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So after I got a call from Nengi's people, and the person I did was also consult 2 weave selling companies to say, I'm doing something with Nengi, the one who ride with me. And both of them said yes. And the million thing, I want to do something with you. Just because I know, I'm not trying to be brag or anything, I just know how to get the public attention with the people that I work with, and I know what they have to do to become the biggest conversation. And it doesn't matter who they left the house with, winner or nobody otherwise. I can put you on a platform that you're part of being discussed, whether it's going to be fashion, whether it's going to be how you're handling social media, whether it's going to be anything. It doesn't have to be on your win, but to create your person to be spoken about outside of the show.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you can leave the show with 15 people, but you're going to see one of the most talked about within those 15 people. That is what I think that I know how to do. And that's exactly what I do with people that I pick to support.
Okay, so I think this should be a broader question. What do you think about the game this season? Because things were a little different this season.
I kind of think, we can talk about everything about this season and pretend that there's no COVID. So COVID sort of affected this Big Brother, if you're being very honest.
Yeah.
COVID in such a way that I had strict rule from NCDC about precautions to take, the different things to do. So because of that, they couldn't introduce new housemates.
Yeah.
They couldn't have the ninjas go on the show. And I also think because of that, they didn't really think outside of the box to get like games that would give them engagement. Also, Nengi asked for a chessboard. If I was the sponsor, I would send that in. And the people played like beer pong. They could have, like, the couple of activities they could have created what the housemates were doing. Just like the sponsors did a lot of durag because they saw the housemates like tying the durag. But the thing is that, so the COVID affected the game, but they could have done a lot more with the kind of task they were giving them, the kind of thing we were asking them to do. Yours is you guys had a song, you had to do a whole lot of different things. And so they couldn't do all this year. But I think we probably have to blame COVID.
Okay. So as we're recording this now, we the winners have not been announced. Well, this is being recorded the Friday before the finale.
Yeah.
So these top 5.
Yes.
The Neo V,
Yes.
Dorothy Nengi, and Lekon.
Yeah.
What do you think about this top 5, and who would have been your ideal top 5 if the game was like last year?
So it was funny how you mentioned the names that you mentioned now. So you sort of felt like you went from the weakest to the strongest. You don't have to agree.
No,
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
but the Neo and V, they come to my mind a lot.
Yeah, so
But
the thing is like, Neo and B played the game.
Yes.
Right. But Neo and B did not just play us as the audience or consumers, they played Multichoice as a business. Does that sense to you? So let me explain to you what that means. They played Multichoice because Multichoice, even though they may not have to agree, but Dorothy, Ozo, Lekon, right? Nengi, Kidwire or Prince would have given them the top 5 that would be almost unpredictable, even with the knowledge that Lekon has a lot of fans. So they're giving a kind of top 5 that people will be like, you know what? We are selling houses just so we can prove a point that Lekon and his army can win this. So, but what they have now is a top 5 that if we're a supporter of Neo and B, I would just go home and sleep. Because there's no need to me to try and waste money or put things together to vote them. Because it's gonna the battle is between whatever. It's gonna be like 1, 2, 3 battle of either Lekon, Dorothy, Nengi, Lekon, Nengi, Dorothy, Lekon, Nengi, and that's 1, 2, 3. There's no other way it can go. It can't go in other way.
So at this point, this moment in time,
Yeah.
who do you think is winning?
Lekon.
Lekon.
Yes.
With absolute certainty.
Yes.
First runner up.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the funny one.
That's
so
the funny one, right?
The funny one being that Dorothy has a lot of alliances outside of the house.
Yeah.
Nengi has just one. Ozo's fans. Nothing more. That's no other way to look at it. Dorothy has a bit of Erica's fan. Dorothy has a lot of Women Arise. Dorothy has a whole lot of Princess fans. And
I think she also has some Ozo's fans as well.
exactly. The females, at least.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting insight. Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Noble, for coming on to the show, and thank you for being noble.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
I have my days. So today I'm noble.
Until next time, guys. Peace.